back. It's always a pleasure to see you folks on this Thursday, 25th day of March, 2021. I am Dan Kuntz, and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for starting your day with us. A few high clouds, 43 degrees. Outside of our studios, we're in for a nice stretch of weather. We're going to warm up, be very mild for this time of the year, for late March. Coming up this weekend, it starts today. Going to get warmer on Friday, warmer still Saturday, topping off with the warmest day probably on Sunday. Things are going to change on Sunday. A fairly robust cold front's going to blow in overnight Sunday into Monday, but that's then. We're in for a nice stretch of weather. We have a ridge of high pressure. It's beginning to establish itself. It's not a dome. It's kind of flat, but it's flat enough. It's going to get the job done. Sunny and mild. Looking forward to giving you that forecast. A lot of news to get to. Some sobering news. Our COVID numbers have ticked up a little bit. Not what we want to see. We'll talk about that when we get to your headlines. Also, we have sports, including highlights of last night's match between the Moses Lake Chiefs and the Eastmont Wildcats on the volleyball court. And boy, it was quite the scare yesterday afternoon. I watched the game between Louisville and Northwestern. Louisville only scored 20 points in the first half, but Haley Van Lith and her teammates came back in the second half, and they have moved on to the Sweet 16. Plus, we'll have the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Matt McNally's opinion. It's Thursday. Pause for Pets is back. Marco the dog needs a home. We'll check in with Megan and our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And in case you missed it last week, I wanted to re-air the interview that I did with Gene Jessup, local author, called Living a Dream. It's his second book. He's working on book number 3. On my conversation with Gene Jessup, you're going to like that. It's good stuff. It'll come up again for you in the back half of the hour, 2 minutes after the hour. Let's take our tour. Again, few high clouds still hanging around. For the record, yesterday's high and low, 35 and 41. Normally, we're at 57 and 37, so it was a little bit cooler than normal. Look at the clouds fly through, way up above there. Sunrise this morning, 6:53, sunset 7:21. That's 12 hours and 28 minutes of daylight for you, as we're fully into spring now, have been for, 5 days. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley from our cross camera, which we always begin with. And now, as always, Megan's Choice. Smalls? Smalls. I can never get that correct. Thank you very much, Megan. But I don't really know where that is, except I'm pretty sure that's the Columbia River. It's a nice view. Let me show you what you got here. You have a dirt road and a power pole and a body of water. I have a tremendous grasp of the obvious. Camera number 3. Oh my, is that Nanapoc? Nanapoc Ridge. Hello, Lake Wenatchee. That's a cool view. I like that. We need to use that one a little more often. Good morning to our friends up to the northwest of us. Of course, still some snow on the ground there. That's to be expected, but it's rapidly melting away, and there'll be more snow melt, obviously, with these mild temperatures coming up. Good morning to the Lake Wenatchee area. Camera number 4. Billy Goat. Been a long time since we checked in with Bill E. Goat. Beautiful view there. The mighty Columbia. The not so mighty but still very pleasant Medhow River flowing into the Columbia at Pateris. Brewster is about right smack dab in the middle of your screen, way off into the distance. Omak, Okanagan. Beautiful view from the Billy Goat camera high atop the Alta Lake area. That is one spectacular view, about 4,400 feet above sea level. That is just incredible. Good morning to our friends up north. Yeah, we're in for a warming trend. Check this out. National Weather Service sent this down the road. Thought we'd throw it up there for you. Gonna warm up. Yeah, as you can see, we'll be, for Wenatchee Valley anyway, we'll be near 60, right around 58 or 59, we think, with some sunshine today. Filtered sunshine, lots of sunshine. On Friday, we'll be right around 60, warmer still Saturday, maybe even a little warmer still on Sunday. So we're in for a brief warm up. Again, this ridge of high pressure is a flat ridge, but it's going to get the job done. Beautiful outdoor weather for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and actually most of Sunday too, for that matter, before a pretty big, it's going to be an active cold front. It's going to come in late Sunday, which is going to make us a little breezy and a lot cooler. In fact, while we're on the subject of the weather from the National Weather Service, here you go. Partly cloudy today. We'll see some filtered sunshine. As the day goes on, the sun will be making itself a little bit more prevalent. We'll get up to about 59, 37 for the overnight low tonight. Sunshine, lower 60s on Friday, 64 on Saturday. Little bit warmer on Sunday. Look at the overnight low, 40 on Saturday. That's mild. Now, late Sunday afternoon into Sunday night, here comes the system I'm talking about. Look at the difference between the afternoon high on Sunday and Monday. Also, you're going to love this. The snow level on Sunday night, as this cold front comes in, it's going to go all the way down to 1,000 feet. We could actually wake up early Monday morning with a little bit of light snow right here in the Wenatchee Valley. It's just a possibility. I'm throwing it out there. It could actually happen for the first day of April. That's hard to believe. And then as we see the cold air coming in with this cold front on Sunday night, going to cool us down quite a bit. We're going to go from well above normal to well below normal in a matter of about 24 hours. So it's going to be breezy on Monday, and then we calm down to some nice weather on Tuesday and Wednesday. Absolutely no real complaints at all, and no real dramatic weather for us. All right, to the pass as we go. That's a live shot of Snoqualmie Pass. A little cloudy, a little foggy, but the roadway is fine. It's bare and wet for the most part, with some patches of slush here and there. It is snowing on Stevens, not particularly hard, but it is snowing. Traction tires are advised at the summit of Stevens Pass. Compact snow and ice on the roadway there. As you can see, they got a little bit of the white stuff coming down. Blue Pass is fine. You're good. Roadway is bare and dry. That's all you have to deal with there. As far as snow in the Cascades, none really in the forecast until we get to Sunday. They are going to get some snow. It's going to start Sunday afternoon. It's going to go into Sunday night. I mentioned the snow level is going to go all the way down to 1,000 feet. Not a significant snow event for the mountain passes, but if you're driving through the Cascades Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, you will get snowed on. How much? Don't really know, but just be prepared for that. In any event, the only advisory right now is on Stevens Pass. Traction tires are advised. 7 minutes after the hour, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have your news. You're watching Wake Up on Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CVCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CVCH respects that.
It's March, and Click It RV Moses Lake has gone mad with huge discounts on a huge selection of top brand RVs, which means the lowest prices, factory incentives, and rebates.
You guys gotta beat the spring rush and get in here now.
Shop online and find the floor plan you like, then build it, price it, and click it. Or come to our huge selection, from travel trailers to fifth wheels, toy haulers to motorhomes. The huge indoor-outdoor RV show is here. Get a better RV and the lowest price guarantee. Only at Click It RV Moses Lake and ClickItRV.com.
Be a winner like me and get to Click It RV.
High clouds, 43 degrees at 9 minutes after the hour. We'll see some sunshine a little bit later on. Highs will be in the upper 50s. Lots of sunshine, very mild temperatures for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and most of Sunday. And then a rather robust cold front rolls in on Sunday night. It's going to cool us down quite a bit. Here are your headlines. Another weekly spike in new COVID-19 cases has Shalanda Douglas counties close to the rate that Governor Jay Inslee said would mean going back to phase 2 of his reopening plan. In its weekly thermographic, the Shalanda Douglas Health District reported the rate of new cases over the last 2 weeks at 192.3 per 100,000 residents. Now, back on March 11th, Inslee announced all of Washington's counties would be moving to phase 3, but said each county would be reviewed every 3 weeks. He said any county with a population above 50,000 that shows new infection rates 200 or higher per 100,000 residents over the previous 2 weeks would go back to phase 2. Phase 3 began Tuesday for the entire state, and the first 3-week evaluation for counties takes place on April 12th. Shalanda Douglas Health District Administrator Luke Davies said the recent increases in COVID-19 cases in the 2 counties likely comes from people being lax about wearing masks and social distancing after weeks of declines in new cases. He also said at a press conference Tuesday that a variant of the virus in this state is concerning for health officials.
I think generally with the people seeing the cases go down, so people are being a little bit more lax in terms of masks and social distancing. And so we're asking everyone to continue using masks and to kind of establish their mitigation efforts. One of the main concerns that we have currently is variant B117. It is significantly more infectious.
It is.
And right now, we're assuming that it is all across the entire state. There's currently surveillance being done by the state to track B117. And as we've seen in Europe and other places, it changes the dynamic of the pandemic. So right now it's a race to get as many shots in arms as possible. So all the vaccines currently still are effective against it. And we're hoping to avoid what's happening currently in Germany, where Germany is having to go back into lockdown and treat it like a new pandemic.
Okanagan County reported its 35th death of COVID-19 on Tuesday. Now, Okanagan County Public Health does not provide details on the county's COVID-19 deaths, and they often delay their announcements. New COVID-19 cases in Okanagan County have been on a steady decline for weeks. In fact, Okanagan County now has one of the lowest infection rates in the state. Returning students to full-time in-person schooling sounds like it might be a great idea by the end of April, but surveys conducted by the Wenatchee School District shows that not everybody is in favor, and the district could lose up to 590 students for the rest of the year if it restarts classes as hoped at the end of April. Here's how the survey results looked when they were presented Tuesday night to the Wenatchee School Board.
As you can see, 35% supported that return, 65% did not support that return. This is all staff. This does include classified and certified and all categories of staff. We did have 57 staff members say that they would intend to take a leave. Now, obviously, that number might not hold, but that is who reported they would intend to take a leave if we went to full-time in person at the end of April. As far as the parent survey, we ran this online for a week. And then after the online portion, we did receive a really good representation this year, or this offering for our online, but we then wanted to call even more parents to make sure we had and student bodies. So we had over 3,200 parents represented in the survey. This doesn't exactly represent our demographics, but it came really close this time in representing our Hispanic and Latino families as compared to our non-Hispanic and Latino families represented by this survey. For the elementary students, we had about 20% of parents who did not supporting return to full-time, 79% did. As you jump it to the middle school level, 25% did not, 75% did to support returning. And at the high school level, 33% did not support returning and 67% did support returning. Just a little bit different bent on the question. We felt like we wanted to get a stronger, are you intending to send your students or not if we make this jump? And so the percentages were obviously smaller, but we did have a small percentage between 10 and 16% who did say they would find another avenue for their students. And most of those indicated withdrawing of some kind, whether that was to homeschool or to some other online program that they can find available. We did a student survey during the school day. We tried to get all of our 6th through 12th grade students to answer the survey. We had over 2,700 respond over those 3 days. And then they had a very, very simple survey. It was one question. Do you support returning to full-time at the end of April or not? And 55% do not at the 6th through 12th grade level, where 45% do.
School District Superintendent Dr. Paul Gordon said there are other challenges when you get back to a full-time in-person teaching, and that includes a shortage of substitute staff and a lot of other services throughout the district. Highway 97A south of Antioch is going to be closed for a couple of weeks during daytime hours. That begins March 29th. A state contractor is going to be removing loose and unstable rocks from the hillside above the highway. The project is similar to work that was done last summer on several stretches of 97A. They get a lot of slides there between Wenatchee and Chelan. The road will be closed between 8:15 a.m. and 5 p.m. each day, about a mile south of Aniat, with openings for 15 minutes at the top of every hour to allow traffic to pass through. Trials by jury in Douglas County resumes today. After a year's delay, thanks to COVID-19, Superior Court Judge Brian Huber says a new temporary court facility has been put in place at the NCW Fairgrounds in Waterville to allow for better spacing and less chance to spread the virus among jury pools and participants. Chelan County had a similar halt in trials but resumed its caseload back in September. Guests at Grant County International Airport got quite a glimpse of great sight. Check this out. The world's largest firefighting aircraft. It's the Global Supertanker. It's a Boeing 747, but it's been fitted to drop more than 19,000 gallons of water or retardant chemicals over major wildfires. Washington's Commissioner of Public Lands, Hillary Franz, wants to add the supertanker to the state's firefighting response fleet.
Washington State is the evergreen state, a state known for its forests, which are frankly dying and burning at an unbelievable pace. It is also known for its aviation excellence. And more than ever, we need that aviation excellence to help us keep the evergreen state evergreen. We rely on a network of aviation facilities so we can respond as quickly as possible. Moses Lake is a critical aviation facility. It is used by federal and state agencies and a critical part of our network, allowing us to respond quickly to wildfires in Washington and across the region. The truth is, here in Washington, we do not have the air assets we need. This has been the case year after year, and frankly, last year made it even more clear.
The supertanker is already being used to fight fires in California and Oregon. A bill that would include the plane's operation and maintenance costs among the firefighting costs is now moving through the state Senate. And a dog that police believe was dumped near Royal City has been able to stay one step ahead of its pursuers all this week. Royal City police say the dog has shown no signs of aggression, but they haven't been able to get close enough to capture her. The town's public works department set up a trap kennel earlier this week that thus far, well, hasn't worked. As the community expresses its concerns for the dog, the police are asking for patience, and they say, we're not giving up. We'll try and get her caught there. That's what's making headlines at 18 minutes after the hour. Grant will have the news for you tonight at 5, 6, and 10 alongside Eric handling the sports. If you have a news tip or you want to drop us a line, we'd love to hear from you, our viewers. Look at the bottom of your screen. Facebook is a great way to go about doing it. Well, our Facebook page. If you go to just some random Facebook page, we probably won't get that. You can email us directly, or you can use our website, ncwlife.com, and click on the contact icon. Going to take a break. When we come back, sports, talking about Louisville Cardinal women's basketball team. They didn't look real good early on, but they got the job done. That's when we get to sports. We'll also have the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. We got some Paws for Pets coming up, too. Marco the dog needs a home, and we'll also play the interview I did with Gene Jessup, local author, coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
As our students return to learn, the need is great for all positions in the Wenatchee School District. Can you see yourself in these hallways? Or helping support students? Maybe you're an excellent office administrator or educator, or you have a love of sports. The Wenatchee School District is now hiring all levels of positions. You can make the difference in the life of a student and in your own life. Apply now at wenatcheeschools.org.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I do's to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
20 minutes after the hour on this Thursday. Boy, things did not look good early on for Haley Van Lith and the Louisville Cardinals. Northwestern came out hot, 4 for 4 from beyond the arc. They got out to an 18-point lead. In fact, at the half, it was 32-20. That's right. Louisville only scored 20 points. That's their lowest amount of points that they scored in the first half of a game all season long. But the second half, a completely different scenario. The Wildcats went cold. Cardinals got hot. They got a comeback, and they won. In the end, Louisville advances to the Sweet 16. In the NCAA Women's Tournament, 62-53 the final. They outscored Northwestern 44-21 in the second half. Kiana Smith led Louisville with 16 points. Dana Evans 14. Haley Van Lith perfect on the day, 13 points. She was 4 for 4 shooting from the field, 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Evans credits Smith and Van Lith for helping right Louisville's ship in the second half comeback.
I think we settled down and we were able to find our open teammates. We had to get in the paint and kick to shooters. I think Kiana got hot, so did Haley. So we wanted to keep going to them. And once we started going inside out, that changed the game. And we started making crisp passes, and that got us easier shots.
Coach Jeff Walls says a three-pointer from Haley in the third quarter got the Cardinals going offensively, and that lit the spark that took off for the rest of the team.
Everybody from that second quarter on contributed, and I thought they contributed at key times. Haley's three, she knocks down in the corner, was a huge shot for us. Kiana gets the 1-3 to go off the little skip pass and hit the side of the rim, the front of the rim. I think the backboard of them rolls in. You know, you've got to get those breaks, and we got them, and it really got us going.
Louisville advances. They'll take on Oregon in the Sweet 16 on Sunday, and that means an extended stay in the Texas bubble for the Louisville Cardinals. And their head coach addressed, well, how do you get your laundry done?
First off, I think we're day 8, and day 10, I think, is when they'll help us with laundry. So the first challenge is I won't have to wash my drawers in the sink. Hand wash them, and then I've been using the blow dryer, Kent, to make sure that I get them good and crisp. So they'll actually do some laundry for us, which is a wonderful thing. And then we got to get some rest. We've got to get some rest. We've got some tired campers, and then we've got to try to keep them mentally stimulated. We've been trying to get out as much as we can, although that's very limited right now. But I think there's a joy in all of them after you get this win, after being here, what are we here now? 8 days? 7 days? A week? This is 8 days. So after being here 8 days, excited about that. And then, I think we'll have some more families that can come down. And it's difficult for everybody, but hey, we're excited to be continuing to play. I mean, I'm hoping that my family can come down. But at the same time, they can come down, but I can't see them. I can wave to them from the stands, but I can't go and give my kids a hug. I can't give my wife a hug. So, there are some things that you're just going to have to continue to fight through, but it's a great problem to have because we're still playing.
Cardinals and the Ducks will be playing Sunday at noon, and you can watch it on ESPN. Eastmont won its 8th straight volleyball match last night. They downed Moses Lake straight sets. No problems there. Look at that. 25-2, 25-10, 26-16. Wildcat junior libero Brenda Cavillo took matters into her own hands in the first set. She served 17 consecutive points. Eric Granstrom had the call right here on the NCAA Life Channel, our first volleyball match on TV in 519 days.
Right to Riley Hirsch. Out a little touch across the net for Moses Lake. They'll set it up for the dink in the pond. It goes splashing down by Kaylin Schmitten. Calvillo has served most of the match. Randall, cross court, back line. Back there for Eastmont was Loomis. Now the kill attempt. That may have been long, but Moses Lake returns it. Calvillo will set it up for it. Now the block at the line. Nice job on the block. Eastmont gets it back over, and volley continues. Valdez Torres will get it up to Hoffine. So they get it over. Back line again for Loomis. Up front, here's the kill attempt. It goes off the arms on the strike by Grasseth, and it will be a point to Eastmont, and the Wildcats win the first one here by a score of 25-2. Rachel Hamilton on the service. Down the line it goes. Back line. up front. Tough rotation under the net will go Moses Lake, and that will be a point to Eastmont, and the Wildcats are going to win it. First of all, in that first game for Eastmont, I had you for 17 points in a row. I don't know if you guys had that or not, but talk about that serve and how hard that is. They took 2 timeouts on you, yet you're still able to do it.
Just kind of focused on getting the ball over the net and in the court, wherever coach tells me to put it. It's about kind of all you can do, and just hope it goes in.
We can't really do our job unless the back row does theirs, but in the end, like, our job is what finishes it.
I was mentioning during the broadcast that you guys were striking the ball real well. Started, of course, with a return, but then it just seemed that your rotation was just the way you wanted it tonight. Is that true?
Yeah, the rotation was really strong with Brenda serving. Everyone was getting it in the court, finding the spots that were open.
Well, coming back from just one timeout, no matter how many serves you've served, is always a kind of a toss-up. It doesn't usually go in the favor of the server. And so for her to do that twice and 17 in a row, I don't know many high schoolers that would be able to do that. I was very, very impressed with that. Very level-headed, get that ball in the court. Well, I thought that your ball rotation, your body rotation was great, especially those first 2 games. Your front line also, I thought, played really well here tonight. Yes, they did a much better job. We set a goal this game to kind of one and done. So one pass set hit, try to put it in a hole and not to somebody. Because when we played Moses Lake last time, we hit it a lot to the girls. And so their goal was to not do that this time. And I think they did a much better job with that, especially.
Eastmont next will take on Chelan and Wenatchee at Wenatchee High School on Saturday. The Goats, by the way, the only team that the Wildcats have lost to this year. Other volleyball action last night. There's your scoreboard. Kashmir traveled to Waloot, won 3-0. Afraida blanked Okanagan 3-zip. Chelan remains undefeated. They're 10-0. They swept Brewster, and nearby Manson also improved to 10-0 with a 3-0 win over Oroville. Eastmont will celebrate its seniors tonight at the Eastmont Aquatic Center. It's everybody into the pool. The Wildcats host Wenatchee and Moses Lake in the final home swim and dive meet of the season. They'll toe the line for the first event at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And the Mariners' 3-game winning streak came to an end. Last night, they lost to the Cubs, the final 6-2. Justin Dunn roughed up for 4 runs, 5 hits, 3 1/3 innings of working, including 2 home runs. Seattle's lone highlight came in the bottom of the second. Taylor Trumbull hitting his 2nd home run of the spring.
For the most part, every guy that took the ball last year, oh, here we go. Here we go. Bingo.
That was a bullet. Taylor Tremillon, a 1-1 pitch, homers for the 2nd time this spring, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead. As a pitching coach, Pete, how did you like that swing on it, jumping on that high mistake? Oh, baby.
I'm glad I'm watching it in the bottom of the inning.
Seattle travels to Mesa today. They'll take on the Oakland Athletics. 1:05 first pitch, 7 days until opening day of the baseball season. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Thursday, 28 minutes after the hour. It's National Lobster Newburgh Day. It's National Manatee Appreciation Day. We love our manatees. But nope, it's National Medal of Honor Day. On your screen, left to right, is the Medal of Honor for the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. There is the Medal of Honor Historical Society in this country, and according to them, and they should know, 3,525 medals of honor have been awarded to 3,506 individuals. 40% of all the people who have won a Medal of Honor got one during the Civil War. The Medal of Honor was first introduced by the Department of Navy. The next year, the Army hopped on board. It is, of course, the highest award a service member can receive as a member of the U.S. military. Only one woman has ever won the Medal of Honor, and she wasn't even in the military. She was a civilian doctor during the Civil War. Her name is Mary Edwards Walker, the only woman ever to win a Medal of Honor. The only president to receive the Medal of Honor was Theodore Roosevelt, and he got that posthumously. The youngest soldier to win a Medal of Honor, 11 years old during the Civil War, Willie Johnson. And it is not called the Congressional Medal of Honor. It's just called the Medal of Honor. Some people get that confused. And it comes with all kinds of perks, free air travel, money. You get all kinds of really nice things if you win the Medal of Honor. But you got to be in the military to do it. It's National Medal of Honor Day today, bottom of the hour. Today in history. the tragedy of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. What a horrible, horrific event in New York City. 110 years ago today, March 25th, 1911. 146 people died, almost all of them teenage girls. They died from either the fire, they either burned to death, or smoke inhalation, or they fell to their death. There was no way out. The doors to the stairwells and the exits were locked. The idea was to prevent the girls from taking unauthorized breaks and to avoid union organizing, so they couldn't get out. Look at that. It's just tragedy. The people who witnessed the horror of the people jumping out to their deaths from the 10th floor window was seared into their memory forever. There was only one fire escape. It was so poorly constructed that when the people started going down the fire escape, it couldn't handle the load. There it is. And it collapsed, and everybody on board the fire escape died. 146 people died in the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in Greenwich Village in New York City on this date 110 years ago today. But it galvanized the labor movement. They said this cannot go on anymore. By the way, nobody was charged, and they still don't really know how the fire got started. Birthdays. Very few people can say that they saved over 1 billion people's lives from starvation, but Norman Borlaug did exactly that. He was born in the state of 1914, and what an amazing humanitarian that was. Died in 2009 at the age of 95. What did he do? Well, the basic dietary supplement in the entire world is wheat. And the wheat would grow, and the wheat would grow, but if you didn't harvest it in the time, the wheat would fall over, and it was unusable. And Norman Borlaug developed a semi-dwarf, high-yield, disease-resistant wheat. It would only grow so high, then it wouldn't fall over, and it had a lot more, well, packed a bigger punch than regular wheat did. And because of that, people could harvest wheat and make bread a lot more than they ever could before. Norman Borlaug. What a great guy, born in the state of 1914. Howard Cosell, born 103 years ago today. I miss Howard. I liked Howard. A lot of people didn't. I liked Howard. I thought he was great. He was not a talking head. He had opinions, and he said them, and he used them. He was way ahead of his time. Howard Cosell, probably best known for Monday Night Football and his long association with Muhammad Ali. Howard Cosell, born in the state of 1918, died in 1995. Just one word, Aretha. That's all you got to say, Aretha, the greatest singer of her generation. And she could sing rings around anybody. Phenomenal. The first female inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Everything she ever recorded, from her early recordings for Columbia in the early 1960s through her classic Atlanta years all the way to the end. Ranked #1 on the greatest singer of all time list from Rolling Stone magazine. She's #1 and 1A and 1B. We miss Aretha. We lost her a couple of years ago. And speaking of musical legends, Sir Elton John. Reginald Dwight, 74 years old today. There's Elton. Still going strong. He's on his farewell tour. I think it's like 9 years going on now. 33 minutes after the hour. Mike Minotti's Gun of Opinion. My conversation with Gene Jessup about his latest book. But first, Paws for Pets. Marco the dog needs a home. Take a look.
Hey everyone, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We're here with Jenny, the volunteer coordinator at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and Marco is joining us this week. Can you tell us about Marco?
I sure can. Marco is about 2 years old. He's a young guy that is so excited and so happy to meet people. He is so friendly. He also really loves other dogs. He's had a few meet and greets where he's met dogs, and he seems to really enjoy them. He might be a little too much for other dogs, but he does not go to playgroup here because he actually has a lesion on his spine, and we try to keep his activity level pretty low. And because of that lesion on his spine, there's a lot of unknown medical to Marco. We aren't sure if it's something that can get better and he can get stronger and use his back legs better, or if it's something that may get worse over time and he'll require more medical. So that's kind of why he's actually been with us for a little bit. People are a little bit hesitant to kind of jump into that. But he loves to go for short walks. He's not going to be an endurance walker because of his back, but he loves short walks, short hikes. He loves to get out and play. He tested friendly with our shelter cat. Overall, Marco's just a really great dog, and we're hoping that he gets an owner that's kind of aware of his potential future that he has medically.
Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open by appointment only. Call them at 509-662-9577 to schedule a meet and greet or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
It's the huge grand opening of Click It RV in Moses Lake. Click It RV and the RV manufacturers have joined together to offer huge incentives and savings.
You guys gotta beat the spring rush and get in here now.
Everything is coming up zero, with zero down, zero payments for 90 days, zero worries, lifetime warranty, and zero for a solar panel with any RV purchase. It's a 000 grand opening going on now at Click It RV in Moses Lake. And get into Click It RV for parts, service, new and used during this huge grand opening sale.
Be a winner like me and get the Click It RV.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, the rash of school shootings and other incidents of gun violence are tragic and horrifying. They really are. I can understand why some people want to eliminate the private ownership of firearms, and please don't deny it. Some of you do. But as the gun owners tell us, the issue isn't guns. Ever since the beginning of human history, we've murdered one another. Believe it or not, it's true. The story of Cain and Abel exemplifies this. Firearms makes this aspect of our humanity, this desire to kill, easier and more efficient, sure. But if you want to continue to try to ban firearms, knock yourself out. But doing so won't cure the baser instincts of human behavior. And this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue.
Currently, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is open for dine-in and take-out. Owner Justin Hefner and his staff are just as excited as you to get back to their regularly scheduled full menu, music, and poker. So stay tuned. Meanwhile, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is serving a limited menu for lunch and dinner, dine-in or take-out.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
For almost 30 years, Link has been providing transit service to Chelan and Douglas counties. Now Link wants your input to make your transit system even better. Our region is growing in leaps and bounds, and public transit needs to improve to keep pace with this growth. We want to make public transit more efficient, more accessible, and more convenient for the people we serve, but we can't build a better system without you. So please make your voice heard and tell us how transit service can be designed to best serve you by taking our survey at www.movinglinkforward.com. Link Transit, your way to go.
If you're like me, you're already dreaming about the summer, enjoying it with friends and family in the backyard. Don't get discouraged with the chilly breeze of spring just yet. There is still work to be done, and the warmer temperatures are just around the corner. If you've been thinking about when to get your backyard ready for summer, come on down to Blue Lagoon, now scheduling pool openings. Ask us why we think you should open your pool sooner rather than later. Call today. Scheduling is filling up fast.
Chelan Wireless is your Verizon authorized retailer featuring the latest iPhone and Android devices. Personal or business, they have the plan and the customer service you're looking for.
In these challenging times, Bear Foods is open and ready to help. From health to diet to home, we are here to take care of your needs. Bear Foods, the good food store.
From home furnishings to the latest in home entertainment technology, Deepwater Home and Electronics can provide the selection and the connection for your wireless world. Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. A couple of months ago, Gene Jessup dropped by and paid me a visit. He has published a couple of books with a third one in the work. The one that we talked about a couple of weeks ago was his life as a smoke jumper in his late teens and early 20s, called Between Heaven and Earth. It's all smoke jumping stories. And now it's twice as thick and almost as interesting is his brand new book, which is somewhat autobiographical, but in an interesting sort of way, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. Gene Jessup has joined me again. He's the author of the book, Living a Dream as It Should Be, All Is Well. Welcome back to the program, Gene. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see you.
Appreciate
Before we dive into the new book, Living a Dream, Between Heaven and Earth, your smoke jumping book, how's it? What's the response been? What's kind of feedback are you getting from your smoke jumping book?
Well, the response has been absolutely excellent, Dan. It's to the point where we took it up to the book store in Leavenworth, and they more or less welcomed us with open arms. And there's quite a bit in here about Togatai jump up above Leavenworth, so they had a local kind of portion in the book. So it's gone well. Family, friends, and I'm particularly pleased in the excellent job you did in presenting the book.
Your cohorts in the world of smoke jumping, did you hear from some of them after the book was published? Those that are still on their mortal coil on this planet. Did you hear from some of your old friends who were
Well, I certainly did. Many. I have keep in close contact with a lot of them, and Bill Moody up in Twisp, who was the supervisor managing of the airport up there in the smoke jumping base, and he had just had excellent comments. Actually, he lived many of those stories with me, so he had excellent comments about it, and many other jumpers too.
So did one book begat the other book, or did you say, okay, well, I'm going to write about just my adventures as a smoke jumper, and then I'm going to take that as a jumping off point, pardon the pun, on something a little more concentrated on your life and your story? How did one relate to the other?
Actually, I don't know where they come from, Dan, but I have memories of all of this, and it's just kind of two different segments of my life, so to speak, which kind of prompted the second one. And also, I hope that some of my experiences will be helpful to others, particularly the alcoholism and addiction and so forth and so on. I just hope it'll be helpful, and in addition to an enjoyable read. I think there's a lot of good humor in there.
And you make a very important point. There's not a lot about here that's sugar-coated. You're straight up shooting on some of these stories that most people would be fairly uncomfortable talking about in a public setting. Yep. You wrote about it.
No. I found that at my age I'm quite transparent, and it doesn't matter because here we are, and that's in the past, and this is today, and I live in a beautiful place on the lake, and life is good.
Has this book made you feel younger, or do you feel 82 every once in a while?
Every morning, Dan.
Just like the smoke jumping book, this is full of fascinating stories and life lessons. I might add, some of the stories, I'm not going to lie to you, a little uncomfortable. But as you mentioned before, you're not going to pull any punches. It's your story was your story. You had a difficult childhood, broken family, so to speak, for lack of a better term. But you got through it. You grew exponentially, especially as a teenager. Back in the time when teenage years were pretty quick. I mean, you had to grow up real quick and go out in the world much sooner than kids have to do today, don't they?
Well, very fortunately, I had some excellent mentors in the football end of it. I had some wonderful coaches, and they more or less showed me the way. They pointed the right direction, eventually.
Yeah.
And eventually I found that path.
And you credit your time as a football player. There's a great story when you turned out as an 8th grader. There was no youth football until Tom Byrne, Dewey Cannon, and my dad brought it to the Valley in the 60s. Before that, there was no Wenatchee youth football. And as an 8th grader, you got to finally turn out, and you got all your equipment, and Grandpa got your cleats, and the next day your equipment's gone, and that was the end of your 8th grade football career, but you persevered. You could have said, "I'm nerds to this, I'll go do something else." But you came back for your 9th grade year, and by the time you were in your high school years, you were not only a football player, but a darn good one.
I had something to prove, and I was more or less detaching myself from the other aspects and concentrating. I wanted to be a football player. I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to be associated with those guys, and nothing was going to stop me.
And of course, it helped that you played on some pretty good football teams with a couple of pretty good coaches, a couple of legends. Tom Byrne, one of my all-time favorite people who have ever walked this planet. I love Tom Byrne. I miss him a great deal.
Absolutely.
Great man. You played for Tom Byrne for the Wenatchee High School Football Panthers back in the 50s. And then the one and only year that Don Coryell coached here at Wenatchee Valley College, his one and only year here. He took a team a program that was basically flat as a pancake and completely turned it around in 1 year.
In 1 year. It's absolutely amazing. That man, I understand why he went as far as he did. What an excellent coach. You'd play for him on a broken leg. You know, if you get in there, Jessup, throw those crutches aside, man, I'd try to make it to the field. He demanded that much respect and dedication. But once again, that illustrates, you know, the many benefits I had and I received from football. And like you say, Tom Byrne, one of the most exceptional persons in the world. Love that man. And Tom Perry, entirely different sort of fellow, but nevertheless, I mean, same thing. Great deal of dedication by his players to him.
Even though he was the one, by the way, who just referred to, who took over from Don Coryell. Don Coryell coached for just 1 year. He was obviously going places. Wenatchee was a stepping stone. But
Yes.
He established what would be an outstanding Wenatchee Valley College football program through the 1950s, into the 60s, all the way into the early 70s. Wenatchee, between Lee Bofto and the Wenatchee Valley College football team, this was a football town, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Lee, I was privileged to go on scouting trips for Lee, and so I had this additional relationship with him. And a fantastic man, guy. He's so detailed. You understand why he was so successful in the football coaching field. Once again, another association in football that was so important for me.
That was one of the most significant life lessons you took, was your time as a member of a football team.
Yes.
A football team taught you what? Being a part of that group, and not only that group, but a successful group at that, a winning team, and winning teams, I might add.
Yes.
What did you take away from that? Besides lifelong friends.
I learned what aggression was all about. And I found that in certain aspects of that, you know, I'm not going to let that fellow across from me beat me. I'm gonna be the winner of this competition between him and you know, and the other team. But and the sense of team spirit. I mean, we played with Coryell, brought Hawaiians, he brought Canadians, he brought some Los Angeles guys, and we had Kashmir guys and Leavenworth guys, and what a wonderful blending it was of talents from various you know, states. And so I learned to be a member of a team. I learned teamwork and working together, and I became more me than when I first stepped on the field.
You also escaped, and this is getting back to what we first started talking about, you escaped the vicious Jessup family circle of alcoholism.
Yes.
You were able to get away from that. You want to briefly address that. You talk about it in depth in the book, but go ahead, Gene, if you don't mind.
Well, fortunately, I had the help of my employer at the time, Jim Pauley of Northern Fruit, which I went to them. I said, it's time. I have to do something about this. It's destroying my family, my life, and so I need to go to treatment. They said, we'll take care of that for you, Gene. You know, we're proud of you. Off I went. And you have to have within yourself that determination. I will not fail. It's like football. I will not fail doing my job and doing my part for the team. I'm going to be successful in this. If they tell me to go to AA, that's where I'll be. They say 4 nights a week, that's what I'll do. I'll do anything I need to do to put this behind me and become who I was meant to be.
If you didn't go to treatment, would you be alive today, Gene?
Beg pardon?
If you did not go to treatment, would you be alive today? You think?
No, I don't believe I did. I would be.
Yeah.
No, driving home with one eye, so you only see 2 lines or 3,
Mm-hmm.
One instead of 3. No, I don't think so.
Do you consider yourself, as I read this book, do you consider yourself lucky in many respects? Certainly your golden years have been wonderful for you. You're living in a beautiful house up at 3 Lakes. You get to fish every day. You have a loving family. Do you feel lucky in many respects?
And a little bit of my philosophy is, quite a little bit actually, but I don't think about it as luck. I think about it as a spiritual path. And it took this experience to get me to this place, and another experience to get me there. And I look at it as a journey. And the book is about looking back and saying, it wasn't all pain. It wasn't all sorrow. Awful lot of joy in there. And here's where I am today. And actually, as I point out in the book, there's nothing I ever really wanted that I didn't have or I haven't received. So it's not luck.
Everybody you're an outdoor enthusiast, Gene is. Again, we're talking to Gene Jessup, author of the book Living a Dream. You're an outdoor enthusiast. It's hard not to be an outdoor enthusiast when you live in God's country, as we do here.
Yes, we do.
Everybody has hunting and fishing stories. I thought I heard them all. I haven't heard them all. Some of the hunting and fishing stories in here are phenomenal. And because you wrote them, I'm assuming they're true.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Every one of them.
Yeah. Lots of great stories. You obviously talk about your family and your kids. Were they 100% in favor of spilling a few family secrets in the book, or?
Oh, yeah, that's, I think, some of the stories are real. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit of fluff here and there, but it really happened. It's like the big World War II raft that drifted into our cabin at the lake. And
that's a great story. That's a great story.
My stepdad hitting that last air compartment and swoosh, and down it went, and down, the skipper went down with the ship. And it's just funny things like that. And my dog and the raccoon and
we're not going to spoiler alert. We're not going to talk about all of it. You got to read the book, and how you get a hold of the book we'll talk about in just a little bit. A couple more questions for you, Gene. Then we'll cut you loose. What did writing this book, was it a cathartic experience, or was it something that you felt like you were driven to do? And what did you take from it by writing the book?
Actually, it didn't end until it ended. When I sat there on the lake and realized that the past is past, and it doesn't really matter. What matters, is that I'm sitting here with a wonderful family, beautiful children, a lovely wife, and what did I do to deserve living in this beautiful, beautiful, as you see, the country we live in, 3 Lakes, that lake? Oh man, in the 3rd grade I lived on a little home over on Meadow Lake, and so I brought my kids out here to fish, and thank you, dear Lord.
What do you want the reader to take away from this book? I know what I took away from this book. First of all, you're a pretty gosh darn good poet, too, I might add. There's some interesting passages in here, Gene. I've read the book. What do you want people to take from this book when they go out and they read it? What do you want them to take away from it?
I think mainly the ending, where number one, I wrote Memories from a Padded Room.
Mm-hmm.
3 days later, I obtained the awareness of what all this meant to me. And I'm in a new place today. And what more can I ask of life than what I have? That's the message I'd like to get out there.
Before we roll tape, you teased me there's more to come from the brain and the pen and the typewriter of Gene Jessup. What's in the hopper, Gene?
Once again, Dan, a little bit different theme. The next one is friends I've met along the way. Once again, we have smoke jumping, and we have athletics, and we have many different aspects of family, friends and family, and the combination of both, and friends with smoke jumping. I traveled to Europe once with 4 of my high school friends, and three of my high school friends, and that wonderful experience and all the different stories that we, waking up on the beach outside of Barcelona with these guys in the black hats and the submachine guns. I didn't do it, whatever it was.
So is the book done, or are you still working on it?
Still working.
Okay.
Putting the finishing touches on
Cool.
it.
The book is called Living a Dream, and just like Between Heaven and Earth, it's published by Fulton Books. Amazon, any place you can buy anything that's published, you can get it. There's a Book for All Seasons have it up in Leavenworth. Do they have this?
Yes,
book?
they do. Amazon and Barnes and Noble and a few others.
A few others as well.
Yeah.
You're gonna like this. And if you're a native of Wenatchee and you decided to call this home, you're gonna recognize a few names. You're gonna recognize a few people. You're gonna recognize some photos. Maybe you, Gene, maybe the one thing we should take away from all this is that you can live wherever you want, but you can live wherever you want at this point in your life, and you choose to live here where your formative years
absolutely
came. So it's a great book. It's called Living a Dream. Gene Jessup, next time you have an open invitation. As soon as your next book is out, you know where to find me, Gene.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that so much.
Yep. Great book, folks. Check it out. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back. Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in north central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
Building. It's in our blood. Building something out of nothing. It takes heart, grit, and hard work. At One Way Construction, our crew is our family. With decades of contracting experience and our in-house design team, we bring a unique perspective to building. We know that if we work together, we are capable of reaching heights that are impossible to reach alone. The possibilities are endless.
Alta Cellars Winery is a family-owned boutique winery featuring structured wines from some of the most sought-after vineyards in Washington. Time-honored winemaking techniques blend with New World style to create reds and whites that are captivating. Located in the original firehouse in downtown Manson, the spacious indoor-outdoor setting provides the perfect backdrop to indulge in a sit-down wine experience. You're invited to come enjoy this firsthand at Alta Cellars, now open in Manson.
Okay, let's wrap up this Thursday edition where we began. This Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, the weather forecast from the National Weather Service. We'll see the clouds beginning to thin out a little bit. We'll see some sun breaks this afternoon, get up to about 58, 59 degrees, a little breezy at times today. 37 for the overnight low tonight. High pressure will be hanging around, which means dry and sunny and warm. It's a flat ridge of high pressure, but it's going to get the job done. So to 61 we go on Friday. 64 on Saturday, going to be a beautiful weekend. Most of Sunday looks really good, partly sunny, a little breezy at times, and a high of about mid-60s anyway. And then Sunday night, big change in the weather, a rather robust cold front. It's going to fly into eastern Washington on Sunday night, and it's going to bring in some cold air. In fact, the snow level Sunday night into early Monday morning is going to go all the way down to 1,000 feet. We could actually get a couple of light snowflakes to start off April. I kid you not. And of course, as you can see, they're considerably cooler on Monday to begin next week. And that is it for us. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.